Well, good Monday morning. It is just before 8. Now, the kids don't have school today. I found out it is Cinco de Mayo Day. And I would say by the traffic, it is, for the most part, a holiday. Not for us, though. I gave everybody a list of 8 horses I wanted to go with. No real concerns. I just want to check in. I told you guys after training last week, I want to keep an eye on some horses. Ventura jumped in his foot a couple of weeks ago. He trained good on Friday, but they said on Saturday that was bothering him a little bit. Honestly, he's a bit of a pansy when it comes to his feet. I don't know how to attribute it. Listen, some horses can go. This isn't a quarter crack, right? This isn't a foot separation. This is, he took the piece out of his bulb. And I'm sure it's a little bit sore, but he nurses it pretty good, I think, when all things considered. Now, oh, that's bright. At least it's a nice sunny day. So I have the 8 horses to go with today. I wanted to update everybody. Man, I got a barrage of emails from people after I gave you guys the Sunday morning roundup. I forgot. I did that video 2 or 3 times. It was gloomy. It was cold. And I don't work well in the gloomy coldness. So I forgot Blue Ventura. Now, in my first 2 videos, I went on and on and on about Blue Ventura because there's nothing I like more than the tenacity and work ethic on display of a horse that wins, or at least races, and then has to come back on short notice, which was 96 hours. This horse paced in 53-4, which at the time, I'm pretty sure, was the fastest mile of his life. If not, it was very close. Won the race, raced great to win the race, and then bounced right out and finished 3rd to stake horses in 51-3, paced 52. Horse raced great. That shows that they're dialed in. When they're doing stuff like that, they're dialed in. I wish that he was just physically just a hair better. He would be a solid stake horse. And this is just on display, the thin line between a condition claimer, an overnight horse, and a stake horse. Excuse me. That horse was morning line favored in a Stallion Series event and was racing in a condition claimer at Northfield. Now let that sink in. Think about that for a second. A horse that was 7-2 going to the gate. Wasn't a mistake. It wasn't an error. He was 3rd B2, raced great. This is a horse that raced in a condition claimer 96 hours before that race. Now, extrapolate that even further. What happens if he goes out and wins in 51-3? Because he was only 2 lengths from doing it. What happens if he jogs in 51-3? All of a sudden you're saying, we got a good Stallion Series horse. And then again, you're only a 2.5 from having a decent sire stake horse. And when you wrap all that together on the fast 5/8 mile tracks and then push them backwards to a slow half-mile track right now, he would be a solid Buckeye horse this year, I believe. Now, that might not be true because Burke has paralyzed the sire stakes division with those 2 or 3 colts, which leaves a lot of power being pushed down into the Buckeyes. So that may not be a fair statement after all. What I'm getting at is there's a very thin line between a sire stake horse, a Stallion Series horse, and a good overnight horse. And I think that's always important to keep fresh in our minds, right? There's no black and white. There's a lot of gray area in between. So, I thought that was worth talking about. And obviously in my weekly videos, I clarified. And just so we're clear, I did that weekly video, that opening, before I got any emails about Blue Ventura. So it was just simply, I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, truthfully speaking, as I said in the weekly video, pretty much the star of the week would be Blue Ventura. When you can win in 53-4 on a half, on a track that, regardless of they graded it downhill that night, that is a slow track right now. You win in 53 and 4 in Northfield and come out 96 hours later and pace the best mile of your life in a stake division that really, truthfully, you don't have the resume to be in. That's a big week for that horse. So great job by him. As I said, another big mile was last night, Neptune. Here's a horse that's been painted as a coward. Painted as a coward. Well, not too many cowards sit on the outside in a muddy track, park the entire way, and finish a close third. And it's not like he was a staggering third and they just couldn't inhale him at the wire. He paced to the wire. Now, in fairness, he's a little softer than he's used to at Mohawk. Different track, different setting, different crew, different everything. Sometimes it shakes the ring rust back off them, right? And they come forward. We've seen that many, many, many times before. One of our go-to moves, actually. So, very happy with Neptune last night. 1, he raced good. 2, he looked like he could get over the track good. So the sky's the limit for this guy. You start talking about horses with speed that can get around a half as well as him, well, goes without saying, there's lots of racing in lots of places for a horse like him. So, a big mile from him, big mile from Blue Ventura. We don't have any racing today. It's a very odd day today, but it's a good day. Ollie's got a social studies project due. Now, he's got some, his project looks good. Now he has to speak in front of the class. I don't know if he'll be all right at speaking in front of a class or not. As something tells me he'll be just fine. So he has a speech to go this week. Now all the kids, it was funny the other night after the ball game. Addie's the best. She's turned into a little lawyer. After the ball game, all the boys from Ollie's baseball team and Addie, they're playing on the playground at the park, and they wanted to go to the movies. Now, I have no interest in going to see Minecraft. 0, less than 0. But they wanted to see Minecraft. Okay. So I stopped. I said, Oliver and Addie, if you want to see Minecraft, you got to leave right now. But they just got there and they're playing with everybody. I'm like, I said, listen, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just simply telling you, you have 2 paths right now. You can play in this playground as long as you want. I'm in no hurry to do anything. Or you can go to the movie. They both chose the movie, and about 15 minutes later, all the other kids left. So they left. So they get in the car. Can we make the movie? Now, truthfully, if I hurried, they could have missed the opening credits. But I said, no, you made a choice. You gotta live with it. Addie said, Dad, we didn't know that the kids would be leaving in 15 minutes. She's gonna argue the finer points of the contract with me. So they didn't get to go to the movies. So I told Ollie if he finished his speech today and practiced it, cleaned up his room, and everybody had the house clean when we got home. It's the beauty of having a 14-year-old daughter. I can't believe she's 14. I said, if everybody has their room clean, everybody's ready to go, we'll all go to the movies for this afternoon. Now, Ollie plays baseball over here today. He does. He plays baseball. He's got a full schedule in front of him, the little fella. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, he plays baseball right here in Ohio. The game tonight is 14 minutes from our house, so that's an interesting thing. That should be fun. The one tomorrow, I'm not sure. Tuesday, where am I at? No, I'm at Northfield tomorrow night. I don't know what time I start, but I don't know if I can see any of that game. And then Wednesday, I'm in the Meadows at Northfield, so it'll be tough. Actually, you might skip one day and play Thursday, in which case I could see him. It doesn't matter. So that's what's on tap for me today. Go to the barn. I have 8 horses to jog that I want to go with. I told everybody to have them ready at 10 after 8. It's just going to be 20 after 8 by the time I get there. We have horses being entered today. Obviously, Scioto Downs opens this week. Keeping a close eye on that because Tuesday, if Looks Like Money does not get in at the Meadows, he will be entered for Scioto Downs. And quite frankly, I think there's a better than good chance, as Tim pointed out, There was 7 horses in the open the other day. One was scratched sick. I think he's still sick. Why is it coming up battery saver active? Why is it saying that? And secondly, 3 of those horses are dropping out of that class. So there's a fair to good chance. No, it's more than probable that the Open is not going to fill at the Meadows. So come Friday, we're looking at a couple of classes. Well, definitely one class for It Looks Like Money. And I have to remind myself too, it's an hour and 30 minutes to Scioto. It's 2:20 to the Meadows from where I live. So not a big deal. They go for more money there. It's tougher competition, obviously. Different racetrack, but it Looks Like Money's coming in good, especially now that we know there was a little something with a tiny bit of thumps the other day. So we'll be able to ensure that that's taken care of. And of course, the one component of his effort, I was going to say poor effort. It wasn't a poor effort in Miami Valley. Was the 4-hour ship? Well, it's not a 4-hour ship. It's 2 hours from the barn to Scioto Downs. So that's what's up this week. We have a number of horses racing tomorrow, racing Wednesday, racing Thursday. We'll have Gaslight in Chicago. Chicago's in the SBOA. Gaslight will be in an open race, an overnight race this week. It's great to see all the horses going. Memento Mori is racing Wednesday, whereas Friday, first little conflict. Friday, we have Arrowhead Hanover racing at the Meadows, so we'll probably need a pilot for Scioto, unless, I don't know what time they race. They might race in the evening, I'm not sure. If they race in the evening, it won't be a problem. So that is what's on for this week. A lot going on. Very happy with the babies. One little correction. Curtis did get back to me, said he cannot video on Wednesday. He does all the broadcasting for the quarter horse track in Ontario. And that opens on Wednesday. So Wednesday's a no-go. Tuesday's a chance of rain. Plus, I don't want to train the horses Wednesday, Saturday, Tuesday. I'll train them Wednesday, Saturday, Thursday. So I've asked him if Thursday, for clarification on Thursday, if that would be okay, because all we have is the Meadows on Thursday, and with looks like money likely not getting in, the only horse entered is Captain Incredible, in which case I'd ask for a middle of the card start if possible, so that I have all the time in the world to get the videos done for you guys. So I'm excited about the babies this week. We start to get a little closer, a little harder on the training. We'll be going back around 2:09, 2:10 with the pacers, and then with the trotters, the faster crew will probably go around 2:12 this week. Now next week, it's going to be, I'm going to hear a lot of groans from the peanut gallery at the burn, because next week we're likely to train them 2 trips, and they're likely to go behind the starting gate for schooling. The baby schooling is on Wednesdays. That would mean I would have to, and it'll have to be Wednesday, because next Thursday I'm in Massachusetts with Maury and Arrowhead Hanover. So just trying to plan my week ahead. I think what Amy and I will do is finish off doing our calendars where the horses are likely to be. We'll go through all those horses where I'd like to see them throughout the season, and where they need to be and when they need to be there. So Arrowhead, obviously, we have mostly Pennsylvania. We have Nabil this year. We have him in a number of other races, so he'll have a strong calendar. Memento Mori he's got a wide river to traverse, so mostly New York sires, but we have a number of other races for him also. How will they work? I believe somebody asked me about Maury the other day, so I'm going to divulge that. We're probably going to manage Maury much like we did Bomb Hugger in her 2- and 3-year-old season, whereas her, for the most part, his base of operations this year, as hers was that year, will be Northfield Park. Mark Beckwith will get Memento Mori for the Bunker Hill, and then keep him for the race at Vernon Downs, his first stake race, and then he will likely come back to us. Now, I know that that might be wrong. I think it's Bunker Hill, Vernon Downs, Monticello, and then when the horse races at Yonkers in that area, Megan will likely get Memento Mori. And then when he comes back down this way, we'll race him through Buffalo with Ryan or her outfit, anybody else. But I think that's the best way to do it, right? Keep his comfort zone here at home at Northfield Park rather than putting him in a new stable every week, because the alternative is no easier. Putting him on a truck and shipping him all over New York State every time he races. Regardless, you can't hide from the shipping, so we may as well keep him as close as we can to home. It worked well when we raced Bomb Hugger, and I hope that it works the same as we race Memento Mori this season. A lot of racing going on. Those are the two, the one trickiest. In regards to Kentucky, we have a number of people saying, when are we going to Kentucky? We'll probably blow into Kentucky the middle of June. I've spoke to Eric and Kathy. I know they wanted to get to Oak Grove, and I wanted to also. We just didn't have, I didn't want to race Looks Like Money or a horse like him over the Oak Grove track. It gets really soft and sandy at the start, and it's still settling. And then, of course, we did potentially have a horse that needed to get down early in Arson, and that was truly tragic and unfortunate. And we don't have that option now. So, realistically, the babies start there at the end of June. Captain Incredible would potentially be headed in that direction as we start to focus on Lexington, actually, as it gets closer to opening up. So we'll have, we have a number of really exciting 2-year-olds that look like they're going to be headed to Kentucky, which should suit Kathy and Eric. They put in a lot of work, same as we all do, but I suspect the best time for them is in Kentucky, in the state of Kentucky in the summer, just taking it easy and racing the horses. And they deserve that too, same as everybody needs to enjoy their summer. So that's exactly what the plan is for summer 2025. You'll likely see us enter the state of Kentucky mid-June and get our horses ready for the 2- and 3-year-old stake races in Oak Grove. I just said Captain Incredible. The 2- and 3-year-old stake races in Oak Grove, and then we will spill over into Lexington, where the bulk of our Kentucky fun will be. The end of the year is a little more interesting also. Gaslight Hall will catch Corbin as he finishes up in Ontario. I don't think he can catch the first leg, but he'll be there for the second leg and hopefully the final. So long range, a lot going on. I'm just trying to get all the pieces in place. We're starting to get a pretty good look at what's what and who's who in our barn. Now, I can't predict or project or guess whether these horses are sire stake or stallion, grassroots, Buckeye. I don't know what distinction they'll be in, but we have a lot of exciting horses for 2025. Happy with the way Ohio is shaping up. We look like we're loaded in Ohio again, at least on the trotting side, which is always a good start. At least you feel that way as you head into the summer. On the pacing side, obviously we have Highest Honors and we have Diosa della Danza. So we do have some horses, 2 horses that I think are sire stake horses as of now. But that is obviously super fluid. And a host of others on the trotting side also. One of our clients had brought up, the next generation. You talk about it briefly. Where are we at right now with the standings? I'll give you a little rough estimate. Obviously, Diosa della Danza is a lock on our side. Capistrano Knights is not going to catch up to her before the next generation. Highest Honors, I believe, is our only Ohio colt, regardless if he is or he isn't. He's the best one. So those are our 2 on the pacing side. On the trotting side, it gets a little more tricky. I would say the trotting colt is Uncle Danny, and the trotting filly right now, today, is Tomboy Strong. Now that may change as we have Aunt Lily, we have Rose Run Bobby, we have a number of horses that can go every bit as much. But when I look at the overall body of work, just the way her demeanor is, she would be the leading candidate right now. So that's where we're at, but that's the next generation. We've an entire season of stake racing and the 2 big mid-season and end-of-season races. Also, the finals and consolations. We have a lot going on in Ohio. Woodmere Betcha will likely race this week in PEI. Woodmere Bullet has been training great in PEI. I know we don't have many videos, but that's hard to do, right? In PEI, it's a little different. We knew that going in. It's not the end of the world. Jamie Smith said he's been in 217 and he loves the colt. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about. So I am eager to see what takes place in that regard also. What else do we have? We have Ohio, Pennsylvania, Nothing on the 2-year-old side for New York. I guess right now also I'm trying to, it's there, but it's actually probably a little closer to my vision, is the broodmares also, getting them in full. The 2 confirmations right now are She Sits in the Bar is confirmed in full to King of the North, and Lover's Play is confirmed in full to King of the North. We have a number of horses bred, we have a number of horses that are foaling out right now, and fingers crossed that goes smoothly throughout the foaling and rebreeding season. So there you have it. I think I've given you a pretty good look at all the areas that maybe aren't touched on all the time, the calendar that I'm always working on, the broodmares, updating everybody on my thoughts of how last week went. Yes, we put up a number of 2s and 3s that I shot that I thought should have been 1s, and at least in a couple of occasions that was my fault, but we'll work on turning those crooked numbers into much straighter ones as we head into this week. So no racing today, a little bit of racing tomorrow, a little bit Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's going to get very, very busy again. So take care on this Monday. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I hope you have a great week planned ahead. Also, it should be a lot of fun here at the stable. Take care.